Hi, I'm Andy Stewart. Recently I went over to Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District to check out what they're doing with GIS and Maximo. So this video is going to explain a little bit about what I saw when I went and toured their facility. For over 50 years, Elsinore Valley Municipal Water District has been serving the people surrounding Lake Elsinore, providing water service, wastewater service, and recycling services. Currently, the district has over 40,000 water, wastewater, and agricultural service connections, which means that managing the infrastructure takes skilled professionals and a lot of work. And information technology plays a big role in making things run smoothly. On my visit, I went looking for Jim Allerton, Director of Information Technology, to see if he could show me what his team was doing to make life better for those people maintaining all of those assets. When I asked for directions to Jim's office, I was mysteriously told to use the force, but I quickly found out why.
Particularly this GIS integration with Maximo is pretty exciting because we're integrating it with the ESRI ArcGIS server, but we're also integrating it with our business objects server. So we're going to deliver GIS-related data through Crystal Reports within Maximo.
Jim's unbridled enthusiasm really got me pumped up to see more. So I asked Jim if one of his key people, Jason McGill, could show me around the water district and introduce me to some of IT's internal customers. Jason took me around to check out the small part of the expansive asset infrastructure that the water district owns and maintains.
Yeah, this is actually really, really high right now. Normally it's down low enough that you can see where...
Is there a lot of toilet flushing going on? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
It could be, yeah. You know, in like, I think Super Bowl Sunday,
yeah.
It's like all hands on deck down here because it gets really nasty.
Whoa, that's...
Yeah, that's poop.
While Jason was giving me this red carpet tour, we ran into Bill Graham, mechanical maintenance supervisor.
With the GIS mapping, after you create all those numbers, you put them in the GIS system, so if anyone gets lost, pull the map up, and it's all tied together.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah.
So when an operator, someone goes to create a work order, if he's trying to figure out which one to assign it to, there's 9 mixers here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's 6 aerators on these 2 ditches, all these different pieces of equipment, they're identical equipment, they're just different numbered.
Yeah.
It can be very difficult for people to create, send me a work order saying fix this, and I can't figure out what it is because you couldn't find that specific asset, so you gave me the whole ditch.
So if they were able to see that specific asset on a map and just click on it and say, create the work order on this.
Just there, boom.
That would be
my work order, and that's the first step right there, knowing where it's at and what it is.
Next, Jason took me over to meet Timothy Cawley, Superintendent of Preventive Maintenance. Tim was kind enough to take us on a drive out to see some of his crews doing some routine valve turning.
And how often do the valves get turned like this?
Unfortunately, can't really give you an answer on that one right now because we don't have a way of tracking the data on when it was exercised last.
So that's what you need.
Yes, that's kind of what my whole thing with Jason has been is once they exercise this, it gets logged into the computer with how many turns it was, how deep it was, and we'll have a history of it.
Being the true IT professional that he is, Jason insisted on learning about the jobs done by the people he supports by doing the work firsthand.
We're going to have to play at the vacuum now because you're never going to get that wrench on there. You see all that crap in there?
Well, how'd that get in there?
Once Jason was through showing his valve turning prowess, we headed back to headquarters to visit with Robert Barnard, wastewater collection superintendent.
Right now what we're doing is we're creating the parent work order and then having to fill in the information for the child work orders, as many as 15 or 20 a day, where what we're working towards is being able to locate the first line segment and then just start highlighting lines, and it'll actually create the work orders like Jason was saying.
We really want to shift away from a reactive-based system to a proactive or preventive system, which means that we need to do proper failure reporting. So what he'll do is he can find that he has a failure. The cause may be it's clogged with grease or something, and then what he can do then is he can pull up the work order in GIS and have the ability to see that we've had repeated problems here by pulling them up in Maximo and using GIS, and then say, hey, we have a new construction here, and when he walks out he finds out that they're not really blocking off the sewer lines. but also we've got contaminants going in there. So we can either ask them nicely to, take care of the situation, or we can fine them, or, whatever course of action is deemed necessary.
So with these 3 customers, Jim's team has some special challenges. Bill wants to do 2 things: to make it easy for people writing work orders to pick the right asset to assign the work order to, and to make it easy for workers to find the right asset that they're supposed to be working on. Tim wants to be able to plan where the valve turning should happen next, and to see a history of all the valves that were turned in a given area on the map during a given time frame. And Robert wants to use the map to efficiently and easily keep track of the work done, and to use the map quickly to create child work orders and to click on a series of linear assets. So Jim and his team sat down and did some thinking. Just how could they deliver solutions to their internal customers' problems? Well, Jim thought, I've got a great ESRI-based GIS system with all of our assets mapped out. And I've got IBM's Maximo EAM solution, so we can manage our assets there. What if I mash them together using the ESRI map inside of Maximo? That would be very cool. So that's just what Jim and his team have done. Enlisting the help of the GIS Maximo integration experts at ActiveG, the brainstorm has become a reality. When you log into Maximo, the first place you're going to go is the work order application. And once we get into the work order application, there's a tab called Map. And clicking on that tab, we see the map that Jim envisioned. Now, I'm trying to find a fire hydrant. I know part of the number, and so I'm going to search for that here in this search field. And when I click Enter, I get some choices, and I see the one that I want to find, and click on it. It takes me to that point in the map. Now, this is a place I want to save, so I'm going to click the Save button for this vicinity or location that I'm trying to remember. And then I'll move somewhere else on the map just to demonstrate. When I click the Vicinity To button, I go back to that saved location that I want to remember for later. Now, when I click on this particular object on the map, it gives me some choices of things that exist in that space. And so if I click on the fire hydrant, I get that information. Now, I'm in a place on the map where I have a current work order. And if I click on a line segment and choose gravity main as my choice, it will highlight that particular item. And now if I click this button that has the child on it, it brings up a dialog for me to add this item to the work order. And so I'll just put a description and say OK. And now I get this dialog that tells me my item or asset has been added to that work order. And you see some information pop up. I'll do it again for another item there. And click the child work order button again. Enter in a description of the work that I want to do. And then click OK. And after I have done that, I've added another item to this work order as a child task or work order. If I go to the Plans tab and expand out those tasks, I see the things that I've added. So this is fulfilling the same request or requirement that Robert had to see his line segments or gravity mains all as children of a work order. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually create a work order using the map. So if I click the new work order button and type in a description for what I need to do, the next thing I'm going to try to do is find the place where I need to do the work. So I know where I'm doing the work, but I don't know the location number of that item or fire hydrant that I've got to do work on. And so instead of entering in the field the location information, I'm going to go to the Map tab. I see a recognizable spot for me to do the work, and I see the item that I need to work on. And so I click it and choose the hydrant. And then I set the location field by clicking the button with the hammer on it. And that enters the exact location information. And then I simply save the work order. And my work order has been saved. And if I move the map around a little bit to refresh it, you now see the work order and its created location. What's
nice about having the interface between GIS and Maximo is that within GIS or Maximo, we'll be able to see the maintenance that we've done to specific line sections or manholes. And that's important, like Jason's saying, that's important when we have a constant problem where we need to go back and look at it.
Yeah.
Click of a button.
And so, with customers happy about their newfound benefits of mapping functionality, Jim and team thought it would be a good idea to show it off at a conference. But there was some dissension in the group.
Jason, you going to the ESRI conference?
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah? I heard you weren't.
What date is that on again?
But didn't you agree to go to the conference and sign the dates?
I don't. Did I get that in an email?
I believe so.
I don't have a copy of that.
I have a read receipt on September 5th.
I didn't see that.
Of a confirmation that you'll be attending and co-presenting.
I really can't go.
You must go.